When last we left our heroes, Wolfgang the Angelic Warlock, Asmo the Snackman Fighter, Nara the Drow Sorceress, and Danir the Catman Wizard, in council with the royal family of dragons rest, it was decided that the Dragon Kingdom would do its best to remain neutral with the Midnight Kingdom and its new leader Ramses Palto, seeking not to unsettle the citizenry after a series of cataclysms and civil war. In regards to Nidhogg, the Red Dragon to the west, it was decided that Silver Rock would take control of Theradok Firefang, the Dragonborn sorcerer, in an effort to figure out what magics could be used to revert the Red Dragon back to his former self. But first they would need an adequate holding space for the powerful mage. So the party continued its efforts rebuilding Silver Rock, while Nara explored the series of caves beneath the city. And while relaxing over a pint in the Wandering Weasel, two familiar faces passed through the door. Pip and Lush have returned. But before we get to that, Nara.
Yeah?
You've been in the mines for some time now. You've traveled deep and discovered that these mines also open up into some relatively natural cave passages. You're guessing some of these might have been used as, like, smuggling passages for people at certain points in time. But you're getting a pretty good mental map of this area down here. Really lost track of time. But as you've been traveling through, could you give me a perception check?
Yeah. 26.
All right. With that, you discovered something. You discovered a few things, actually. Well,
Okay.
one, you discovered the remembering going back through, like, Danir's journal. You remember the tale of Eadric Kench and how the cave itself was tunneled in as the man was doing experimentation on the bones and bodies of discarded sorcerers. You found that place pretty easily as you were, like, within the first week of you traveling down in these caves. As you went further down, you were able to discover the one of the what you believe to be channels that led to that fissure that you found in the side of the Maw's wall, as you discovered more of that flaky, dried up goop. But more interestingly, in your now weeks of exploration, you came across what appeared to be an illusory wall within the tunnels.
Oh, okay.
This is a very particular form of subterfuge, which kind of surprised you, being this deep in a cave that is so infrequently traveled.
Yeah. What? So I found illusory walls, and what is behind them?
Behind them is just another tunnel that leads deeper into the earth. So you're guessing that whatever this path was is something that is incredibly secretive to whoever decided to put up this illusory wall.
Okay. And there's no trace of who set it up or anything left behind or any
Let's see, what would this be? This would probably be either a nature check or a investigation check.
let me look. Which
Guessing
I
neither of those
prefer.
are.
Yeah, they're both about the same. So I guess we'll investigate. 3.
With a 3, the most
Got real
you can
distracted.
Get, the most you the most you can get from this, the fact that this illusory wall is there, is that whatever this leads to, I mean, obviously you're not sure what this leads to, but this wall itself, you're not sure if the cave behind it is man-made or if it was there, like if it just kind of formed naturally and somebody decided to hide off this cavern.
Okay. Let me think. What else would be useful to do down there? Was there anything else I came across that's of note? Did I bypass creepy crawlies?
I mean, there are a few of the things that currently live down where you are. Nothing that would be necessarily deemed a threat. There's bats. You found a couple of rats and amphibians down here. A few
All of
interesting
which I
species
threw
of
into the
mushroom.
parallax.
They have since been
Except
eaten.
the mushrooms.
Yeah, they have since been eaten or have hidden from little ass.
Yeah.
Let's see, I'm trying to figure out what else you might find down there. Would you have traveled down that tunnel? Because this is something you probably would have just found.
Nara's too curious to not. And if there's no real sign that there could be a present and real threat, then why not?
Okay. Traveling down that hallway, let me see. Or traveling down that passage. Go ahead and give me another perception check as you're traveling deeper in, because, yeah, it's a fairly long and winding
21.
tunnel. All right, with a 21, you do discover that on the wall of the cavern you find a kind of like the scraping of a fragment. It looks like the scraping of a garment. It looks like somebody's cloak got caught on like a jagged piece of the rocky wall at some point and got torn. Does not seem incredibly old. The material, looking at it with your dark vision, all you can really see is grayscale right now, but it's a dark material. And it feels woolen in your fingers.
Okay.
Traveling all the way down to its conclusion, you do find that it leads to what appears to be it's kind of like a cavernous space with multiple caves leading off in various directions.
Any indicator of what would be around those, or any other things left behind in this open space?
For that, give me another perception check just in this space here, this a wider
22.
space. 22. This does look like it is a space that might have been used as a like a junction point or a staging space, so to speak. A space where whoever might have been traveling these tunnels might have stopped to rest for a while. You do note that some of the caverns, some of the openings are much shorter than you are. Like it wouldn't fit a creature of your size. But some of them look like they had been widened to accommodate somebody of your stature. You'd say that besides the space that you just came from, there are 4 other tunnels. 2 of them are shorter. 2 of them are roughly your height.
Which one looks the most traversed?
That would be a survival check.
Ah, 6.
These appear to be used so infrequently that it's nearly impossible to tell.
Oh, okay. Okay. So any type of indication of people that have recently gone through would be for that role, correct?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
The most you have as far as clues for people would be that piece of woolen cloth that you have.
Is there any smell in the air?
With a 21 and a 22 and a 26 perception check, it's this room in particular. seems to have more of a, like, the smelling of something like old and burnt, like old discarded torches or things of that nature. Like that, which is another indication that this might have been a staging point. There's that old sort of almost ammoniatic smell of discarded torches and burnt out lantern oil.
Okay. Nara would likely go down one of the shorter tunnels first. Like,
Right,
kind
it's
of
about
all
like
four.
kind of like half your height too. So you kind of have to like either crouch down like super hard or kind of go on all fours.
Oh no,
almost.
she would like all four spider walk in there.
Now, you're
The
used to
fuck is a spider walk?
You know what I'm talking about.
you're used to kind of like exploring caves from when you were young. So going through narrower passages hasn't exactly ever made you feel like super uncomfortable, even if you're less able to defend yourself from what might be on the other side. So you begin to kind of crawl through, and this tunnel, it goes on for a while, it seems.
Okay.
You can give me either another investigation or survival check if you want to.
Investigation. A 7! So good at investigating, guys.
You find it harder to believe that this particular cavern is natural, but you have no idea, like, if it is something that's like how or what could have possibly made this hole. Or I should say, there are so many things that could that you're unable to narrow it down.
Okay. And it just like goes on for too long, or
It goes on for a while, like to the point that your arms and legs actually kind of start to ache from crawling.
you know, if that happened, she would probably just like flop down and start doing that practicing that soul leaving body thing that she accidentally did at the School of Magic.
All right. That would be an act of meditation, so give me a wisdom check.
Just straight wisdom check.
Straight wisdom check.
What? Oh, there you are. 15.
15. You're able to kind of calm your mind. This is actually one of the points where you probably drift into a trance, like kind of a dreamlike state for a while. But you're unable to really force eject your soul from your own body. But you do get some rest in.
Okay.
And
That
you're conscious
probably-
and you're conscious enough to when you do awaken, you don't smack your head upon sitting up.
Okay. That's probably... How long is she down there? Weeks?
Go ahead and give me
She said 3
a...
weeks, yeah?
Yeah, but let's see if Nara knows that. Go ahead and give me a nature check.
5.
Could be a couple of days, could be months. I mean, you're over a century old. Time is much less of a issue for you, but you do start to realize that you're having a hard time remembering the last time you saw the sun.
Yeah. I would say that every time she starts to get tired or like in need of a trance state, she'd probably practice on that soul leaving body thing, and or try and remember what it was that got her to that point. And she'd probably be talking to Mother Death quite a bit.
Yeah,
Since she's trapped there.
Yeah, the sickle at your side it's felt less. I mean, it's definitely been less hostile, but it also is like it kind of gives off more of an indifferent vibe.
Okay. Most of the conversation would have been about Solomon and just kind of listing off everything he's done because Mother Death is trapped there to listen. Kind of regaling Solomon's acts and deeds and
Whenever you
failures.
reminisce on those, the blade seems to kind of take the feelings that you're feeling while you're saying it, and I guess it resonates with a sort of with a sense of kind of sorrow.
Okay.
Whether that's directed towards you or directed towards her son is hard to say.
Okay.
Yeah, you told Solomon's mom on him a lot.
Yeah. So hard. So hard.
He's not going to have like any fruit by the foot for like a week in his lunch bag.
Yeah. Not a one. I'm going to get all of them. Let's see. She would probably scope the other caves just to see if they're shorter or if they go on for a long time. Because again, 3 weeks is a long time to be able to just have free reign.
Yeah. As far as this particular network of caves go, let's see. Traveling, I'd say you probably would have had time in the time up until where we ended for, like to kind of fully explore 2 of the caves. So did you want to fully explore the space that you're currently going into and then choose one of the other ones?
Yeah, we'll do one of the short ones and then one of the tall ones.
Okay. If that's the case, then traveling further down this path, which, go ahead and give me another nature check.
Why do you ask me for things that won't go? 20! Just kidding.
See? What were you worrying about?
A lot.
It appears that this cavern has been kind of hooking off towards the east, this shorter one.
Okay.
And I'd say, hold on, give me a moment here to grab a proper marker. Just so we know where you're at. I'd say that at this stage you are probably out this way. Whoop.
Okay.
Make it more. There we go. So you're probably down out here, making your way out towards the what used to be the overgrowth at this point.
Okay.
And as you have traveled further in, and it takes you a while on all fours, you're not able to travel at your full speed. So hours and hours seem to pass as you're just kind of like crawling through this claustrophobic tunnel. But as you get closer and like further and further away from Silver Rock, you do start to hear something.
Okay.
It is a tink, 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 tink sound in the distance.
Sounding like someone's mining?
Definitely sounds like something's like either some ore is being hit by some other type of ore. Yeah.
Okay. And do I go to where, can I get that far? Or,
Oh, absolutely. If you continue on.
I mean, if I was going to explore the whole thing, then yeah.
All right. So you continue traveling inward, and finally the cave kind of opens up to a wider cavern. And before you, with your dark vision, you see what can only be described as a cavern filled with cave-side, rock-side inlets. You can smell a kind of like a sulfurous smoke in the air. And the tinging has definitely gotten louder, and as some of like the smog kind of like clears out of your face, you see before you what looks to be a almost kind of like a city center.
Oh.
Where you can start to see some like molten ore moving across canals and into what appear to be forges.
Did I just accidental into a dwarven town?
Quite possibly.
Okay. Is anybody there?
If you would move further in, you'd probably get a better look.
She's gonna.
Do you wish to do this out in the open, or do you wish to stealth?
We'll stealth and see how that goes.
Go for it.
It's a 13.
All right. You kind of throw your cloak over your head, try to, be as in the shadows as possible, but your arms and legs are so fucking tired from crawling all that way. They're basically asleep, and your palms are covered in calluses and pock marks from, crawling all over the rocks.
What? You know what?
What do I know?
I feel like Nara's killed a dwarf before, right?
You've probably killed a number of species.
So, if there was a dwarf that lived, not in this cave area at all, and she got a peep at what these dwarves looked like, could she Veil of Faces a dwarf that doesn't look like these dwarves?
Sure. Absolutely something you can do.
Your blasé reaction makes me scared, and
I'm simply saying that you have the ability to turn into things that you've killed, and you've almost certainly killed a dwarf.
There's just... Okay. The fear of them recognizing the dwarf that I killed would not be in my favor.
I will say that you have not been in this particular dwarven city previously. In fact, the only true dwarven quote-unquote city that you recall seeing anywhere on this side of the continent was in Dragon's Rest beneath the mountain.
Okay. She's gonna scope with stealth first.
Sure.
Hoping that she's sneaky, and then we'll decide if we're gonna Veil of Faces or not.
So you start making your way inward, trying to stay along like the skirted edge of the cliffside of this particular rocky ledge outcropping above this city. While you're still kind of only seeing with shades of gray and just a little bit of color from where the glowing magmatic ore is running along canals, all of the construct beneath you appears to be made out of some sort of black stone, or at least an incredibly dark, shiny stone. The structure at the very center of this town, it looks like at one point it was almost kind of like a mosque-like cathedral, but it looks as if an obelisk was kind of added to the top of its dome. And as you get kind of like further in, you see there's tiny shops working around, and you can finally get a glimpse at some of the dwarven forms that are patrolling the edge of this village. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Now I'm concerned. 27.
Well, you were correct to not choose the form of a dwarf, because what you see before you are not quite dwarves, but Duergar.
Oh, okay.
The underdark version of a dwarf. You have met a few in the past. Typically, Drow and Duergar don't necessarily work very well together. They are incredibly stubborn, but your type has always admired their violence.
Oh. Okay.
They're brash, they're stubborn, but they make good weapons.
Great.
They construct good armament. And they typically do not like surface dwellers.
What do I know? Okay, so I don't know anything about these ones in particular, though, correct?
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a history check to see how much you know about Duergar in general. You haven't interacted a whole lot.
13.
Yeah, you haven't interacted a whole lot, but you've heard tales. There have been some of your clan that have had to in the past. They are often used as intermediaries between certain monster races like goblins and hobgoblins who travel deep into the earth sometimes and would trade and barter with various Duergar that also live beneath the surface. These guys in particular don't know really much about them at all, or your best guess as to why they have a tunnel that leads where it does is that they might use it as a trading post for various underworld dealings.
Okay. Being this close, can I hear chatter of like things they're talking about?
From where you are and a perception of 27, they don't appear, the ones that you got your first glimpse of don't appear to be chatting. In fact, the one that you see is kind of like groggily standing post outside of what looks to be a checkpoint that leads into town. He hasn't noticed you, but he also looks either drunk or sleepy.
There's a checkpoint to get in the town, right?
It looks like it is a path, from the tunnel that you came in, it looks like there was a path that led down and into this township. And that is the pass that he is currently holding. You are currently kind of like circling the city along kind of a cliffside shimmy almost.
Okay.
Yeah, he appears to be standing at not necessarily a gatehouse, but what could probably be, they could probably put a palisade in there pretty quick to block off the path should anybody come in through that direction.
Huh. Ooh. How prepared for battle does he look?
He appears to be wearing some dark metallic armor, big stone hammer on his back. You're willing to bet that if you caught him by surprise, you'd be able to dispatch him fairly quickly, but he's certainly, if he's able to raise the alarm, he wouldn't be alone for very long.
Right. Okay. What if she just walked up and said hi?
That's an interesting what if.
I think she's gonna do it. So she'll shimmy back to the little walkway, and like a very good little citizen, we'll just walk up to the checkpoint.
He just kind of like stands there for a moment. Then his perception check was dog shit, by the way. It takes him until you're probably well within eye shot. He gives you like a double look. Like he kind of like glances over you at first as he saw some movement out of the corner of his eye. Then a real quick double look. Then he does that cliche thing where he just kind of like rubs his eyes real quick. And in a tongue that you haven't heard in so long, Undercommon, he says, "Who goes there?"
Oh, hi!
State your business, dwarf.
Oh, I'm just wandering around.
Okay. You're kind wandering around here.
Yeah, I was kind of just checking out some caves and just kind of opened up to here.
What business do you have with the Great One?
Who's the Great One?
He eyes you suspiciously. And starts to kind of like reach behind him, like reaching for his hammer slowly.
No, I literally don't know who's the Great One.
He grasps his hammer. State your business.
Like I said, I'm just wandering around.
Interesting place to find yourself, wanderer. How did you come across our town?
I wandered through caves, and then I came out here.
Where do you hail from?
Like from a long time ago, or... 'Cause it kind of moves around. I'm not super stationary. I feel like I'm starting to be more like a wanderer anymore. But I'm fine with that.
His eyes begin to wince, and his head just kind of like convulses slightly for a moment, and then his eyes go wide and stares at you.
Hi?
Eskas farum.
Do I know that? Those words?
Do you speak deep speech?
Nope, but I'm about to comprehend languages, so now I do.
Then you don't understand what he just said.
Sorry, one more time?
You have been seen.
By who?
Your form is known.
Uh-huh.
Does Nara remember this kind of talk?
Yes. Quite eerily. You recall it from your adventures in the void.
Are these the little squid faces?
It is the language that they speak.
Your form is known.
Oh, no.
His jaw extends to a unnatural degree. Like to the point that you think his cheeks and the corners of his mouth are just going to tear. And he begins to let out a guttural screech.
Oh, fuck! Nara's gonna get on her pixie stick and fucking fly like a pencil through that cave.
Okay. You make it to the mouth of that cave and then realize you're not gonna fit through there like that.
Gonna cast haste and go as fast as can.
All right, you cast haste on yourself and start crawling like a mad person as you hear that shrill screech echoing in the caves behind you. You start scrambling, crawling through that cavern. How long does haste last?
A minute, and she's gonna cast it every time that she can.
Unfortunately, every time haste burns out, you
fuck,
get
that's
fatigued.
right.
So,
Shit puff.
you begin to hear that screech echoing, shrilling behind you. And as you start scrambling, for the first minute, you feel like you're making damn good time. But as soon as that haste runs out, you are burned. Give me a athletics check to try to continue on.
Oh, fuck. Oh, that's bad. 14.
You're doing your best. You're keeping pace. Like you get out of it and you're breathing hard, but you're able to kind of push through just based on your adrenaline. But you start hearing footfalls behind you.
No, fuck.
They're at a distance, but there's definitely an encroachment. And these
Okay.
things are able to move at their full speed, and in this cavern, you're only able to move so quickly.
How far back from me are they?
Do you want to take time to figure that out?
Nope. I don't. I really do not. Okay, wait. How far back can that go? I guess we're just gonna keep trying to go
All right.
for as long as we can.
Here we go.
You keep trying to move as quickly as you can forward. It does sound like that they are starting to catch up on you.
Oh,
like no matter
fuck
what
me.
you do, you can only move at half your normal speed, and their little bodies are perfectly fit for this. Even though they can only approach in a single file line, it would seem at the moment, just based on the pure width of this cave. And you did get a decent head start on them, but you do hear the boot falls behind you.
Nick,
say
what
you
do those Fey crystals do when you take them again?
They make it so you don't have to sleep. But
That's it,
in this
though,
case,
huh?
in this case, it would be essentially getting you out of fatigue.
Let's get me out of fatigue then. She's gonna pop some crystal Fey.
All right, Nara does some Fey meth and just starts trucking it. Your eyes dilate, your blood is carbonated.
Fucking awesome.
All right,
And-
give me an athletics check with advantage.
I assume
Okay,
that's what it feels like when
amazing.
your foot is asleep.
10.
You really feel like you're trucking it.
Fuck.
But in reality, you're just kind of keeping pace with what you were doing.
Okay. Because I'm gonna hear those footsteps getting closer. So what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna fucking polymorph into something that's way smaller and way faster.
Fuck
All
yeah.
right, what is smaller and faster?
Fuck if I know. A cheetah?
There's no cheetahs. There's no cheetahs in this land.
What would Nara know that's like a fast creature that's small?
Your cat!
Rabbit?
Well, it can also cover a lot of ground really fucking quickly. Would rabbit work?
Rabbit's pretty fucking fast.
All right, rabbit it is. Polymorph time, baby.
All right. You pump, and you're a wabbit. And you start running as quickly as your little rabbit legs can keep you, little bunny Nara. I'm guessing like a little shadow black rabbit
Yeah.
as
Oh
you're
yeah.
dashing through the cave. I probably should have looked this up first, but 5E, rabbit. Yeah, you got a 70-foot sprint. So as long as you keep dashing, you are going to stay ahead of them.
Yep. We've got at least an hour of that.
As a rabbit, you'll be
On
able to
Fey
make
meth.
it as a methed up rabbit.
It's just that rabbits and so much meth.
Yes, you will be able to make it out of there in about an hour, but that does not stop that. As soon as you get out of that cavern, you do still hear the heavy boot falls kind of trouncing down that cavern as soon as you make it back into that open space.
As she is nearing, when she can see that the end of the tunnel is coming, she poofs out of polymorph, drops 3 black charges as she goes out, black powder charges, and fucking pops them with, where are you? Where are you, Scorching Ray?
Yeah, that's something that would light it on fire. So, is Scorching Ray a level 1 spell, or is that a cantrip?
It's a level 2.
Okay. So you fire off, let's see. Yeah, I'd say that'd be enough to cave in a good chunk of that cavern. Cave. So you set those down, and do you set them all down together, or do you set them like one at a time?
One at a time. If they will be powerful enough to cave it in, then one at a time. But if not, she'll fucking drop them in a blop and go.
All right. They have a 5% chance of being dud, so I want you to roll me 3 d20s.
Okay. 1. 9.
That one's good.
4.
Also good.
7.
Also good. They aren't incredibly potent black powder, but they're enough to cave in probably about a 10-yard stretch of that cave. So you fire it off, and the 4 holes in the wall are now down to 3.
How long does
and
it take?
you don't hear the boot falls anymore.
How long does it take dwarves and or Durgar to tunnel through 10 yards of rock?
I am not sure how you would know that information, but go ahead and give me a... God, what the fuck would this be?
History? Just from...
Sure, history with disadvantage.
Well, she studies prey, and dwarves were some of them before. Oh, nat 1!
You have no fucking clue how
I'm
long
on
it takes them
meth!
to dig... How long it takes something to dig through 10 yards of rock?
I'm on meth! I can't think about that anyway!
I'm on meth. I'm thinking about other things. I got different priorities, like more meth.
All right,
boy. Yeah.
I'm gonna say you're probably not going to explore another hole with that knowledge in your brain now.
Yeah, probably. That probably took enough time. Or, you know what? Maybe she searched... No, I said she searched the short one first. But she might have, like, searched another cavern, but to make sure that there's not, like, an exit for them or something. 3 weeks is just so long. Nah, she'd fucking leave.
Yeah, after enraging a group of underdwarves,
Possessed by squid faces?
potentially.
Oh, absolutely. Pardon you, sir.
If you say so. I'm the one that wrote this, so
What?
I'll let you live in your beliefs.
How dare. You're just saying that to throw me off. Anyway, yeah, she will book it out. That's
Alright.
probably at the end of her adventures, and then it probably takes another fucking week to get back out.
Yeah, as you find your way back to the surface, the meth begins to wear out on you.
Right.
But you find your way back into the out of the mines. You're covered in soot. Obviously haven't bathed in some days.
I'm
but-
going to assume that she's also taken a trancey sleep at this point. Somewhere in the last week to get out, she had to sleep once.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you were able to venture your way out and back to the town of Silver Rock. Looks like it's early evening on the day that you made it out. Where are my
She
stupid
will
ambiances?
fly above the city looking for Asmo and Wolfgang and Denier.
All right, go ahead and give me a perception check.
24.
You don't see any of them, but you do see that a lot of people at this time of day are kind of heading towards the Wandering Weasel. And you know that that's where they usually end up at the end of a long day.
Yep. She'll go to the Weasel then.
All right. 5 minutes, or a few minutes before Nara comes wandering in. Pip and Lush have entered the bar. Long time no see, Tom. Pip has one of those kind of like pubescent, sort of like puby beards growing on his face right now.
Now, how big is he wielding any kind of weapon?
He has a staff.
Oh.
And he does look like his shoulders and arms have filled out a bit.
He's still got that face of a warrior.
Yeah. His eyes are wide. His mouth isn't slack right now. But he's just kind of looking around, and he catches your eye, Asmo. And then he kind of like glances away. Welcome back.
And Asmo just jumps up and just embraces him. Jumps over everything to get there. Just
Pip kind of like looks away a bit as you jump up and embrace him. And
oh, he's embarrassed. Oh, he's embarrassed. Don't you big league me. Don't you... Okay, tell him out of character not to big league me, Nick.
I can try.
Okay, thank you.
I only control him so much.
I know.
He actually, like, he raises his arm as if he's like trying to like go for the embrace, but he just kind of like sets his arm on his shoulder and kind of starts to push away a little.
Oh. I see. I don't. Asmo just nods, puts his hands on his shoulder, and just be like, all right, well. Nods, and just Asmo kind of heads over to his chair, because something's up, something's up!
Yeah, Pip gives you kind of like a shy glance out of the corner of his eye, but then looks away. You can give me an insight check, if you would like, with advantage since you've known this boy.
I've known him for a while. Insight. All right, well, I'm going to try and go for... Oh. 18?
He seems upset at you.
Okay. All right. Something to think about for later. All right. Well. Okay.
Pip just kind of gives like a solemn nod as you walk back.
Not well. Okay.
And he
all right.
wanders over to sit at the bar next to where Lush's stool is. Lush kind of like walks by you. So you're still alive?
Lush is talking to Asmo?
You, yeah.
Yeah. I see you've been through it.
Nothing more than I'm used to.
How about him? Asmo kind of gestures with his head a little bit. To Pip.
She kind of gives like a bit of a sigh. When you went off to Silver Rock to deal with Ken Shalone, it hurt him. He tried to follow on his own, but I followed him.
We barely survived our encounter with Kench.
Oh, I'm not saying it would have been a good idea to have him there, but
There's always a cost for everything. Thanks for saying. I'm glad he's safe.
I wasn't gonna let anything happen to him.
That's all that matters, right?
Maybe. He seems off.
Yeah, he does. I'll wait for a different time before I talk to him. Just got back, so.
Lush looks over to Wolfgang and Denier and Chimby, who's still there enjoying a pint. Oi! She waves.
Been a while.
It has. You seem like you've been through a lot.
That would be correct. Well, I might as well tell you about it if you're willing to hear it. Though I'm more interested in where you two have been.
Well, after Pip left to go find you, I went to go find him. He couldn't find you on the road, but he wanted to be there when his tormentor was dealt with. Now, I'm not saying that would have been a good idea. In fact, I recall advising that you leave without him. But he made it to Silver Rock after you had left. He saw the place in flames and... I don't know, the poor boy just... I think it brought back memories of when he was there as a child.
Well, I don't think he would have fared any better had he seen the inside of that place while it was intact.
He watched it burn. And then he started setting fires of his own. I had to stop him. This whole place would have been rubble and ash if he had kept going. I think he's tired of feeling like he needs protection.
Aswell just kind of nods to that. I can get that.
So we spent time traveling. He tried to get stronger, but there's only so much progress you can make in so much time.
He sort of nods shallowly. Well,
We heard news that you were back, so we made our way here and found the weasel. Of course we did.
well, more than back, I suppose you could say.
Oh, I've heard. Congratulations.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's been a change of pace.
I would imagine. But if you don't mind, I've been on the road for a while and I could use a drink.
By all means.
She starts to head over to the bar. At about this time, the door swings open and a incredibly exhausted Nara is standing there. Welcome to the Wandering Weasel!
Nope! Nuh-uh!
Too late, already got it out.
Beelines for the party.
We got a problem.
Oh, you're
Well,
back.
about
Right.
bloody time, where have you been?
I was exploring the caves, doing my job. You've told me to do my job like a million times. I'm doing my job.
Do you realize how long you've been gone?
No, not at all. But hey, guess what? There are Drugar. I think I said it right. They're down there, and I'm pretty sure squid faces have taken them all over.
You were gone
Your
for 3
eyes,
weeks. 3
your
weeks.
eyes are dilated as fuck.
Yeah, no shit.
Just pointing out.
You okay?
Yeah. Oh, hey. Been a minute. Later.
Okay.
Squid
All
faces.
Oh.
What do we do? I kind of like blew up a little cave down there, but yeah, they were like running after me, and I had to. It was a thing, but I'm out, and they still might be coming. They said
They're
that
in the
Yeah,
maw.
yeah,
They're in the maw.
yeah,
That's bad.
yeah.
I looked at Denier. Denier, that's bad.
I kind of guessed.
So,
I mean-
they said stuff about like the Great One, and there was an obelisk on this like mosque thing,
Wait.
and
God. No, not just. Go on.
so yeah, so there was a giant thing, and they had like the guy, the guard at the guard post. He actually had a really cool like black. It was like black metal armor. It looked really cool. He has a big hammer, and he was about to pick it up, but then he like unhinged his jaw and yelled when I didn't know who the Great One was, and he got really upset. And so then
All right. I want to just summarize what you just said. So, for the last 3 weeks, you've been putzing around down in the maw, and you accidentally upon an ancient culture?
yeah. I had to take a fake crystal to get out. I just want you to know.
Naturally, Asmo says with disbelief in his face.
You had to?
I had to! What do you think?
Yeah, was that just one around?
I have a lot of it.
Alright, I feel like this is like a production meeting that we really should be having in the public area.
Nuh-uh, this is your problem.
My problem. Oh, no,
I'm a city official, Wolfgang! Queen of the Maw!
Did the whole bar just go Queen of the Maw? Yeah.
God, I hope so.
You're definitely getting a few tables around you, eyeing you, and they've definitely quieted down as they're trying to listen in on this talk of an ancient civilization of murderous people beneath the city.
There is no. How dare you say that out loud, Nora? As a matter of fact, stop joking around here with everybody in this public space.
Fine! As an apology, I'll buy you all around!
And she slaps a bunch of gold on the counter for Tom.
I always liked this one.
I have no idea how much gold I just gave him. That would quantify. How much gold do you think it would take to buy a round for everyone in the bar right now?
Everyone in the bar, probably
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, she slaps down like 12. No one's gonna remember this.
If you say so. You've been speaking very loudly about all of these things.
She like not very sneakily leans across the bar.
Tom, come.
He starts moving away from Lush. Yeah.
Put some in there so they don't remember no more.
He looks left and right.
Don't do that.
That's
Don't listen to her.
Put it in there.
She slides 2 more gold across the table.
He looks over to Lush, looks over to Wolfgang.
I just got a very flat look as I'm just shaking my head.
Both of you give me a persuasion check.
Me?
Both Wolfgang and Nara.
Yeah.
Where the hell is my
23.
sheet?
23.
Bloody hell, I've got so many sheets on here. I am so many characters.
Yeah, you are.
You've played a lot of one-offs here.
You play a lot of fellas.
Where's my persuasion? There it is. Here we go. Yeah, that's an 8.
I win.
Okay. Tom just kind of like brushes his hands and like walks behind the bar. Be right back.
Yes. No problem, no mercy, Wolfgang. Totally fine.
Hey, Nara.
Yeah.
I cast Lesser Restoration.
The Pokemon theme plays. Dun 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 dun.
You're no longer feeling the after effects or effects of the Fey meth.
The
Aw.
meth?
Normal is boring.
Oh no, that calm down's gonna be real bad.
Oh, wait. Yeah, that's... Wait, no. But he restored me. So I should feel fine, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
no,
feel
but
fine.
You'll never be without it, though. Dun dun dun.
Right. Drinks start going out around the house, coming out of the back room.
Nara immediately swivels as trays of alcohol come out, and she cheers,
Queen of the Maw!
Ah!
Queen of them all. The table next to you says very sheepishly. The rest of the bar actually kind of cheers out. But
take it.
everybody gets their
I
ale.
guess one.
they get 3.
Not all at once.
Well, yeah, but the beer's flowing right now.
All right. Let's see how your town of workers does. That table fails.
Great,
That table fails miserably.
great.
That's like 2 nat 1s I ever rolled, so that fails
Amazing.
miserably. Regular fail. Another nat 1. I am not using this dice again after
No,
this.
use it again. Use it again. Use it again.
Regular fail.
I think you may have just
Regular
alcohol
fail.
poisoned half our town.
Nuh-uh.
Not alcohol poison, no.
What? Nick, don't say it like that.
This is your idea.
All right. Everybody fails, and 3 of them epically fail. After they finish their pint, they're all like still like there's a bit of like a cheer going on for a while, but very quickly 3 of the tables immediately go unconscious, followed by some of the other ones that very slowly drift off, and yeah, the entire bar is completely unconscious. You have just magic roofied the entire wandering weasel.
He looks at Tom, 2 thumbs up with a cheeky smile.
He kind of nervously thumbs up back.
Is there
Lush is just kind of shaking her head.
any way that we can see these people home safely?
All right. Ah! It claps.
Did you just like walk to the door and yell "Earth"?
Yeah, I rolled in the window. Ah! Loud clap.
Oh my god.
Earth kind of like comes tromping through town.
Earth!
The
seems
the
some
big
kind of
face
magical
with the
effect.
massive underjaw just kind of shows in.
Bring all the strapping ones you got. We gotta get everyone home. And monitor them.
He salutes.
Earth!
Yeah, that's good, Earth. Good on you.
He goes out and starts to collect guards who are able to carry people, including some of the guards that were currently drinking and off duty.
Yeah, some magical thing went off. I don't know what happened. We were immune. Or it was slower on me. Asmo faints.
And yeah, the crowd is slowly but surely being carried out by the town guard.
Nara
just
stands near
imagining-
the door, crossed arms, proud look on her face, like, I did that.
Yep, I'm gonna have to move, Tom says.
What? Why?
Everyone got poisoned.
Nuh-uh.
You just poisoned workers and guards.
Poison, they took a
Nara.
sleep.
Nara. Alcohol is poison.
What?
The feeling of being drunk, it's why it's really difficult for me to get drunk. It's because, like, you gotta, like, throw so much poison at your liver, you know, that we know about in this because of all the science, all the medicine, and
Yeah.
like you power it with enough poison, which is what alcohol is, and then it can't process it all, so like the poison gets into your blood and makes you all drunk and silly. So technically, what you're doing is overwhelming your poison organ. It being like, no, just fill up the body with poison. Let's get wild. If that happens too much, you'll die.
Lush speaks up from the corner. So did you really roofie all of these people just to have that conversation?
Wait, Tom, where'd you put it? Was it just alcohol? I just don't want him to remember. Is that what's happening?
Oh, they won't remember.
What did you do?
What you asked.
The way you said that. What did you do?
Only what you asked.
Well, how much are they not gonna remember?
Really depends.
What does that mean?
It's kind of eyeballing it a bit, and, well...
I know, magic, just an eyeball thing you do. Right, Daenerys?
Daenerys is leaned over, talking to Chimby in a very hushed tone. He glances up, looks at Asmo, gives a thumbs up, then goes back to his hushed conversation. The beers that he was given and Chimby was given was pushed to the side.
Oh, your table didn't get these particular
Okay.
beverages.
Good.
Didn't even get to him yet.
I would have had you make con saves against god level bullshit. So
Oh, fuck. Well. Tom, don't you know about the guys?
I know about many guys.
No,
I've
the ones
Been lots of
like
places.
the squids.
Oh, the void.
Why are
ball.
you whispering?
Oh, right, no one's here anymore.
Everyone who could have possibly overheard us, you just poisoned or roofied or magic or
Don't
something.
poison them. Tom put stuff in there so they don't remember.
Irf, who is currently like carrying out another patron, kind of cocks an eyebrow, looks over. Irf?
Ignore that.
Earth, don't worry about it. Just we're slowly becoming corrupt politicians.
I bought
guess.
them a lot of drinks, and then
Shrug.
they drank a lot of drinks.
Okay,
Irf
so
shrugs. Irf.
We have been in charge of this town for like what, a month, and already we are riddled in scandal. This is
This isn't really a scandal. No one remembers it.
yeah, but we're gonna but we're the only ones who remember. So everyone's like, what happened last night? So one of them's gonna be curious enough to figure that
I
out.
bought everyone drinks, and they all drank it, and we all cheered "Queer them all," and then everyone drank too much, and I can hold my liquor better than everyone else.
Well, they certainly won't remember that.
Oh.
Now, what were you asking about the Voidborn?
Yeah, I thought they were gone. Why are they still here?
Oh, they're omnipresent. They exist in
What?
a time where it doesn't exist.
How does that work? Wait, hold on.
That-
Time doesn't exist.
He actually points to Nara and Wolfgang. I think both of them know.
Well, I know they went to another time, and we're in that time, but that was a time. Time was present during that place.
Yes, but they were also in a space where time doesn't exist, and also in a space where time is everywhere.
Okay. So you're saying that it is both exists and doesn't exist, yet they were there and weren't there, therefore they... Oh, God, I've gone cross-eyed.
They have been both everywhere and nowhere, yes.
What?
Also every when and no when.
So, anyway, they kind of said your form is known when he was before he did the unhinging jaw screech.
Unhinging jaw screech.
Yeah, he unhinged. He was like talking to me, and then he had a headache, and then his eyes went all, and then he talked in the deep speech and said your form is known a couple times. I had to ask again because I wasn't listening the first time. And then he unhinged his jaw and did the like screech thing that we've heard before.
Well, seems we've all made some common enemies.
You think they're gonna come up here?
If they can track you.
How do they do that?
How do you do it?
We asked you first. Hey, no, don't answer him. We asked you first.
Fair enough. Well,
Yeah.
What is this question in a question thing? Come on. now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you left clues behind as to where you came from, or let them know where you came from, or let them
Oh, next thing
find
you're
ways...
telling me if we have one of their weapons, they could detect it.
Potentially.
Fuck! Asmo slams his sword down on the table. God damn it! I took their blade.
I mean, I didn't really tell them where I'm from.
Oh, that's good. I think they're assuming it's nearby.
No, I said that I kind of move around all the time, so.
So they
that's
should be
true.
So you told them they should be searching for you everywhere, essentially. God damn it! All right.
What?
Nara, how do I? Okay, I have town guards, Nara, and these things they do fucking weird shit to your brain. Town guardsmen are great hard workers,
Yeah.
Earth.
but they have brains.
Right.
How am I to prevent that from the guys that do crazy shit to your brain? How about? All right, guys, you're all my workers. Go about today's business. At any given time, your brain might be scrambled. Is that?
Yeah.
But don't worry. The person who found them said they're somewhere nearby, but nowhere specific.
Well, I didn't say it was near. I just said I wander around.
They're going to assume it's near. Okay, I'm not going to blame you. How many were there?
Well, I only saw
5?
one,
Okay.
but how many footsteps does she, remember hearing at once?
Well, you were on meth at a certain point, so...
But before
Use
the
the
meth.
mind.
Before the meth.
It's also an echoey cave. Perception with disadvantage.
Okay. 15.
Trancing down behind you must have been somewhere between 5 and a dozen footfalls.
Like 5 or 12 were following me. At least. So I don't know. They're like a hive
No, I
mind.
don't. I don't know. Nah, they're a terrifying creature.
Well, they're so,
I'm not mad at you. How are you to expect that? You're going about your day. You're not exactly expecting to bump into them.
yeah. I was just I was doing my job.
So what you're saying is basically it's going to be Chimby time before long.
Yes. That one.
How long does your summoning of him last, by the way?
About an hour.
You're damn right! It's always... Poof!
See, in my head, him just going, ah! Every time he screams, it's painful to disappear.
Just like that disappearing meme, that...
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
at least he took his. At least he had his pint with him when he left.
Oh, that
Veneer
clattered
puts
back
down-
down. That clattered back down to the table as he disappeared.
Never mind. Veneer picks up the glass.
Oh my god.
I am not happy to hear that these things are potentially going to be around, because the last time I saw one of these things, it had its... He puts a hand in front of his face and wiggles his fingers to mimic tentacles. Had their squid fingies all around my head.
Oh, yeah. I
I
recall
don't
that.
like a face full of their mouths. I would very much prefer not being attempted to be eaten for a third time.
Oh yeah, they hate you.
Oh, wait, what?
Whoa! Specifically?
Yes,
I stole their sword!
Him, or at least another version of him, has battled with them many times.
Wait, what?
What do you mean? No, I heard that too.
I think I remember hearing about this.
I should.
Tom's just polishing a glass now.
Wait, our Denier, like, future Denier, you mean?
Yes, but they see no difference.
Oh,
Right.
good. Fantastic. I'm going to have to step up the time frame on the ritual then.
Wait, what ritual?
Yeah,
Is that
what
security
ritual,
risk?
Tom? Yeah, Lush says. The melding of minds and timelines ritual.
There's gonna be a ritual and no one even told me?
Oh, what?
You've been gone for a while.
Well, that's not fair. You can talk and brain stuff all the time, Denier.
Slow tilt of the head. I mean, you were here, and then you were not here, and then apparently the you that was here got thrown and is who knows where, and now you're here. But I'm not here, but I am here.
Basically, the version of him that you traveled through your adventures with would be melding with this one.
Oh.
I'd be two guys.
In one?
Yep.
She looks at Asmo immediately.
Huh.
What?
Nothing.
Lush, like, swigs back on her jug of triple X, whatever the hell the... Basically her booze bottle.
The god booze.
Anime booze bottle. Got it.
Sets it down. Tom, a word. And she, like, kind of waves him behind the counter. Okie dokie. And they both step away.
Oh, like they're doing what we should do. Step away from people when we're having a deep conversation.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
PDA is a negative connotation. Also, I missed you.
What?
I'm happy to see you.
Aww.
Mm-hmm.
She goes over and holds both
No.
hands, fully
No.
caked in dirt and grime.
No, don't touch your... No,
Hello.
no. You need the magical bath upstairs. That's what you need right now.
Urf is kind of, like, wandering by, like, kind of carrying a person under their arms.
Good work, Urf.
Urf.
Wait,
Not you, Urf. Urf, you're doing great work.
No. He's looking at the both of you and just kind of, like, going, oh.
Asmo, it's been so long, I don't know where the baths are.
They're upstairs. Right over there. See up there?
No.
Right up there. Right.
No.
See that stairwell up there? Why are you
Nope.
taking my hand? Why are you
Yep,
taking my hand? Why,
I-
what?
This way? I think you're pointing in this direction. Oh, up
Again,
here?
the
Oh,
spa.
come on.
The spa is on the first floor.
Where you going? It's not. Where you going? There's nothing upstairs. Where
She
you going?
takes a U-turn and goes back
Wait.
down.
Oh, your intent is very clear.
Door closes.
Wolfgang and Denier. You are currently sitting alone in a bar. There are probably like 5 or 10 unconscious people left that are still being carted out by Urf. And Pip is just sitting at the bar, sucking on a straw, like it's almost like a juice box. You just hear the...
Wolfgang has had his eyes closed for most of this and is slowly counting backwards from 10 in his head. Okay.
You know, Pip, there's I'm starting a school in town if you're interested.
His eyes kind of shift over to you.
Help people be able to grow stronger magically and be able to handle what gifts that they have.
Give me a persuasion check.
Doke. I need this Denier, not Prime. Prime is doing who knows what.
Prime.
That's a 13.
He still seems a bit standoffish, but he gives you a little nod.
I get that you've been through a lot. Take your time.
He sees Urf come back in and start to pick somebody up. Pip actually kind of walks over, sets his drink down and walks over and grabs for the person's feet. Urf? And, like, Pip lifts the feet and Urf lifts, like, the back of the person. And
Oh my god.
Pip helps carry him out.
It's happening.
That's
It's happening.
adorable.
It's happening. It's happening. It's happening.
Denier slowly turns to look towards Wolfgang. So, what the hell do we do?
Well, we've been preparing for conflict. So I suppose we just keep on doing what we're doing. Though we need to have a word with the Kylum Diaboli. If it's not already in the training regiment, we need training against the squid faces. How to deal with them. Fuck, I almost died when we tried to that one time. If it weren't for you.
Yeah. I think I can see about coming up with something that might be able to help, but might be about time to give them some real world experience, so to say, with it. Even if it's simulated.
One thing that bothers me about, well, one of the big things that bothered me about what Nara said
Yeah.
is that they were known. I wonder, that big brain that they had. Although I suppose you wouldn't know about that.
I mean, you did take me a walk. You basically walked me through everything that you three did back then.
Right.
So I do have the cliff notes.
Right. Keep forgetting how much you know. God. Well, you know how that brain had the ability to tear open holes in space and time?
Yes, that's how you three escaped.
I'm worried that it may have followed us. It didn't seem like that initially, so I have no idea. But I wonder if it somehow managed to get our scent, for lack of a better turn of phrase.
I mean, the veil between this world and the other world is very, very thin over in the overgrowth. That's why we took so much time in order to try to place those protective markers that are... His eyes slowly open. Probably destroyed now that the overgrowth has gone up.
Bloody hell.
And at that realization, we're going to take a quick break. Hey guys, Lani here. I just wanted to thank you for rolling with us. And if you wanted to catch us live, you can do so almost every Monday at 5 o'clock Central Time over on twitch.tv/Lanipator. Now, back to the show. All right, so undoubtedly there would have been an emergency calling of the Kylum Diaboli.
Everyone, get in here.
Yeah. This would probably be the next morning. Shortly after you guys have awoken. And sitting around the table, you have obviously the four of you.
Oh, so Asmo is there for that?
Yeah. This is something that, you know, you've dealt with these creatures, or what you believe the creatures to be in the past, so your expertise is also noted. Denier, obviously. Nara, Wolfgang, Pogan, Talia, and Rebecca, all gathered around the meeting room table.
A very important question. Does anyone take the parallax from Nara before this meeting?
I don't know. Asmo and Nara are off bathing.
No. This is the next day. You're not
Next
bathing
day.
for 24 hours.
Could be.
My question still stands.
Fair.
It's just funny. I'm imagining him, like, his arms getting longer like a snake. As he's
Oh,
trying-
God.
No, he's like holding onto the door as he's being dragged in, because it's funny that way.
No!
It's funnier that way. It's funny.
I imagine this is a flash cut to everybody's already at the table.
Yeah.
And Wolfgang
God
has
damn it.
kind of already basically given the rundown of the situation.
Okay.
But you can lead in however you would like, Wolfgang. You might be muted.
Wolfgang,
You might be right.
Yeah.
Wolfgang just has a mouthful of garlic bread. It's fine.
Had to skip breakfast, ran here with toast in mouth.
Oh God.
Sorry. John makes a killer toast. Dear, can you give me a visual of what we're dealing with? Just for the sake of reference.
Minor image of a mind flare, as we fought them in the Whomper Stump Cave.
And you
These squid-faced sons of bitches are what we refer to as mind flayers.
And you believe they've taken over a community of Duergar.
According to Nara, that is precisely what has happened.
Yep. Didn't seem super friendly.
Their capabilities are mostly known to us, including the capabilities of... Well, they all seem to share a collective conscience with, for lack of a better term, a brain.
So they act as a hive mind, Pogan says. It's been known
Something.
Known to happen among collective species like insects.
Something like that. They appear to be potent wielders of psionic abilities. They can affect the minds of those they interact with. What's more, they feast on the brains of their victims.
Rebecca looks a bit pale at that. And they're beneath our feet, and she just kind of looks down.
Yeah, pretty far down there, though.
Does their leadership take any different sort of form so we know which one to smash and crash it all?
From the encounter we had. Remembering back to the fight we had against them, what was the... I'm trying to remember the actual creature, because we fought a bunch of, like, mind flayers, but we fought a big creature of some kind.
Yeah,
That was an aboleth.
Yeah, you fought 3 mind flayers that had an aboleth along with them from the other side.
Would aboleths be more widely known than mind flayers in this setting?
I think they'd be about the same, right?
Kind of, sort of, since they are from... They're all kind of from that same abyssal plane that have just kind of managed to merge their way into your reality. It's not even that mind flayers have never been encountered before. I mean, even your book, your father's book, had old notes of what a beholder was, so... It's not that these aberrations have never made it across the veil before, but it is not exactly common. Especially with how much more frequently it seems to be happening.
Above game, I think there's instability with our realm. The realm we're in right now, in general, and now there's just cracks that others are able to take advantage of.
There has
Feels
been a
like.
lot of shit that has been fucking with the realm
Stability.
of the stability of reality. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm just like, okay, so these guys can just kind of come in whenever they want. That's bad, because there is this whole Star Trek episode about characters like this, and it's actually really freaky. I don't know. Not this exact species, but they were from another dimension and stuff. Anyways.
We encountered them in the, sorry, excuse me.
That's okay, go on.
Trying to wolf down the rest of that toast.
When you're a busy mayor, when you're in charge of all this, you gotta eat.
Arts and family recipe.
fucking toast.
When we were in the overgrowth and near Wild's Edge, we encountered a group of these mind flayers coming in from a tear in reality, one that we'd mostly sealed up, though with the explosion over in that area, me and Denier think that maybe that rift might have either reopened or
It's not just that.
one appeared somewhere else.
My worry is that regardless, if this is related to that explosion, that means there might be an even bigger one over there. So regardless of what comes next, we have two locations of danger that we have to worry about. The Maw and to the east. Continue on, sorry.
I reiterate, you made it. When it comes to, a nest of bees, you crush the queen, you scatter the hive. Their leadership, what form does it take?
Denier snaps his fingers, and the minor illusion shifts from the mind flare to the elder brain.
That's fucking disturbing. Ain't got
As
no
far
dick
as
to
we-
kick.
As far as we know, this is the primary leading force of these mind flayers. We refer to it as the Elder Brain. So far, we only know of the existence of one. But though it seemed to be quite stationary in the plane that we saw it, the home plane of these beings, it has shown the capability of being able to open rifts.
It also
Whether it can-
appears. Go ahead, Connor.
I was just going to say whether it can traverse through these rifts itself is a matter that we don't know.
It does seem to have some kind of at least limited capabilities on the Sea of Dreams. I encountered them early on in the Dreamscape when we were in the Overgrowth. It started messing with the Fey folk. Although to what degree, I have not uncovered yet.
What about the obelisk thing?
Obelisk thing?
You said there was like an obelisk. In the
This was a
mosque.
question from Talia.
Oh. There was a big obelisk. There was like a mosque down there, but then there was this big obelisk poking out of it.
A what?
What did it look like exactly, if you can tell us?
Like a very tall, skinny pyramid.
What God said.
Formed it. Yeah, those words basically came out of Nara's mouth. Formed out of what appeared to be black slate stone.
That sounds familiar. I think
Have
I
we seen
remember
Somewhere?
Kimberton Wumperstump had something similar lodged in his brain pan. I think.
That,
Although from what you're describing, I think this is bigger.
Way bigger.
what was the obelisk made out of metal or was it stone?
It was black.
You weren't close enough to get a really good look at the material.
It was black. That's
Anything,
it.
Lenny? Any chance I could Arcana to like determine if this was potentially like a gateway or from what Nara's saying, the functionality of this item?
You're getting secondhand information, and you are unable to observe it yourself. I'm going to say no, you probably can't even check for that.
Okay.
Secondhand information from someone who was on meth at the time.
Well, on meth
I wasn't on
afterwards.
meth then. Is there anything I recall about this thing that would give more information for us?
Only the physical description that was given. You, again, didn't get
Dang.
close enough to it, and you were able to say that it looked like it was added kind of posthumously, like after the original structure. It was an addition to it, so...
Yeah.
Okay, puppy. Okay, lie down. Sorry.
How did
One
the
of the-
Underdwarves act? You said you approached the
Well-
one.
He was kind of normal at first. And he was asking where I came from and what I was doing there. And then he asked what brought me to see the Great One. And when I didn't know who the Great One was, that's when he got really upset.
Didn't give
He
you his
started-
name, did he?
Wait, hold on. That's the thing he was most upset about.
Yeah.
Not that you were there, that you didn't know their leader.
Yeah, well, doesn't
Whoa.
that make sense? Because...
No. If what they're trying to do is secret, they'd be more upset about you being there than they would be about you not knowing the leader. If it's secretive, they don't want you to know anything. So that
But here's
seems
the
like a
thing.
very odd, specific thing to be upset about.
If it's a hive mind thing, and I don't know who the Great One is, then that means I'm not part of it, even if the, like, normal brain doesn't know. Does that make sense?
I was thinking the same thing.
So, like, they're normal until they're not normal, because then the hive mind takes over and gets mad that you don't know what the hive mind is. Right?
That's essentially what I was thinking. Basically, you had no idea what that thing was, and therefore the only reason you could be drawn there was due to outside forces, not internal.
Right.
In other words, you weren't part of the...
Hive.
Right. And then you said his form changed?
His jaw unhinged and then he screeched like a banshee.
That's new, as far
Is
as we
it?
know.
I thought they all
Well-
kind of yelled.
Well, you sort of like takes his hat off and scratches his forehead. They didn't look normal. And from what you're saying, this Dwergar looked like a Dwergar. The things that
Yeah.
we saw, they were either about average human height or really short guys. And they
Oh,
all
yeah.
had squid faces.
Yeah, this guy was like possessed or something.
Like like how the red caps were.
Yeah, because he was normal for a minute, and then when I didn't know about stuff, that's when he went all slack face, and then he's talked in deep speech, and that's when he did the "your form is known," blah 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 blah.
Right, forgot about the red caps actually. Did they do something similar? That whole thing was a blur. I got smacked with a aboleth tentacle and I nearly drowned.
Oh man, wouldn't it be super messed up if I was possessed by that thing?
A bunch of
Asshole
hands
just-
start drifting towards their weapons.
She's not
Asshole look-
possessed.
Asshole
She would
looks
be
at the
acting
camera.
way more normal if she
How
were.
dare you?
She crosses her arms and turns away.
She's not possessed. Trust me.
As you turn away, make me a perception check with disadvantage, Nara.
Okay. 24.
This would actually catch your eye then. The cloak that Talia is wearing, there's a piece missing. Looks like it got torn off.
Huh. Hey, Talia.
What?
What have you been up to the last couple weeks?
I have been training new cadets here.
Uh-huh.
And helping around the city where I can, and fulfilling contracts when possible.
Nara's gonna pull out that little piece of cloth.
Same material.
What were you doing down in the caves?
Holds it up so everyone can see that it obviously came, like, in the direction of where the part of her cloak is missing.
I was meeting with an old friend.
Which would be who? The Great One?
No. Member of the Deadeyes. And I was asked to pass along a message.
Oh.
Just folds his arms.
We had an agreement.
I know.
How am I supposed to gather information without being able to meet?
I'm not. I didn't say anything.
You gave a look.
I look at a lot of things. Well, what is this message?
I was asked by a mutual friend, and she kind of like looks around the table at you guys, to see what it would take to kill the Archmage.
Nara immediately glances around the room to see everyone's reactions.
Go ahead and give me an insight.
11.
Pogan is obviously just a bit shocked.
Oh!
Just okay. Not really my business, but Rebecca is intrigued. Talia's flat faced because she's the one that told the information. I don't know. How's the rest of the party feeling? And are you trying to hide your feelings?
Wolfgang's got, I guess, a neutral expression. His face would probably give away, like, yeah, that makes sense, actually.
If you have any objections to this,
Denier looks conflicted.
I don't object to exploring our options.
then I'll proceed.
Was he there?
Was who there?
The Kage Roshi?
He's not exactly a messenger. But he is the one who will be receiving the message. So I take it you found the tunnel.
Yeah. Is that supposed to be your stuff?
It's a number of things. Which means that the Duergar you're referring to are the Duath Loon.
Duath what?
The Duath Loon. They made a
What
lot
do you
of
know about
weapons
them?
for us. They were
Oh, sorry.
manufacturers of weapons. They delved deep to find the hardest and most secure ore. They could fashion all sorts of deadly devices from them. Oftentimes the ore was dug from such deep pits that the ore itself could be considered poisonous to the touch.
Asmo. Wait.
Out of character. Are they Sorry, I have to ask. Sorry.
What can you tell me about that? What you just said?
The Duathloon's ore?
Yes.
It's a closely guarded secret amongst their people.
What is it?
It's said to be... Well, rumors, at the very least, have it that it was touched by an ancient evil. So much so that it's corrupted the very core of the metal itself.
Ugh.
It's very useful for lethal crafts, but
I'm aware.
not very good for daily use.
Asmo looks at Wolfgang, crosses his arms, just out of character. That's the. I feel that sounds like the shit that poisoned Asmo and almost left him to die. Remember when we were in the when he got blasted with that essentially what we were told was radiation? It sounds
Hard
like the
to
same
say.
material causing it.
Seems they found more than they bargained for in their search for more materials.
So they've never... Sorry.
You're good.
What you're saying is they've never exhibited these qualities before.
They are always strange and quiet, but gladly accepted trade and... No, they had never expressed this particular behavior. We haven't
And I
heard or seen or traded with them in quite a while, though.
How long is quite a while? It sounded like you were pretty regular with them until a certain point where it just sort of stopped. When was that?
The last time I recall any of the Duathloon working with our people would have been around 2 years ago. Something about a ancient elven fire dagger.
Ancient Elven.
Sounds cool.
Asmo stabs it into the table.
You traded it to Flix.
Oh no!
Oh, that's right.
I totally did trade that away. Damn it. Never mind, that would have been fun. You mean this, Pink? Oh shit!
Reaches for the empty holster. Ha! Oh.
See, that would have been badass.
Flix is currently cutting bread with it, making toast.
Oh my god.
It's crazy!
It toasts the bread as you cut it and melts
It's
the
a light.
butter too.
It's a lightsaber. It's just that lightsaber knife from the fucking Family Guy Star Wars special.
That contract went unfulfilled, though.
2 years. Bloody hell. I think that was before all of this started.
It's only been in canon. How long do you think
It has.
roughly
You guys have been working together for about 2 years.
It's felt like 2 years essentially.
We've had a number
Yeah.
of time skips. Elliot is a toddler, so.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's about like 3 now.
Mm-hmm.
Robert a baby.
By the way, Duathloon is D-U-A-T-H-E space L-U-N-N.
Thank you.
Duathloon.
Duath.
Well, that was the catalyst for that was a bad deal and not Mind Fluer. And Mind Fluer? Hello. Mind Flayer.
Fluer.
Mind Fluer. Mind Flayer influence. Then that would make sense.
They just had an interest in the blade, as far as I was aware.
An interest in the blade. Elven Fire Dagger. Asmo, You had something like that a while back, didn't you?
I traded it to Flix.
Hmm.
Small world. We stole it. Well, appropriated it from a certain individual who tried to kill me with it. And then I utilized it later on. It was ended up being traded to somebody else for a suitable favor at the time. Lives
Tally
of the
just-
rich and
Tally
famous,
just
kind of
everybody.
Tally just kind of
Fuck.
shrugs.
I just remembered something.
What?
I can't say because I don't know in character. Oh, fuck.
Oh.
It all comes around.
Uh-huh. I'll just say it, even though Wolfgang wouldn't know it. That was what Dupre was after.
Yup.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
yeah. Dupre was after the actual knife. I think you remember that.
Yep.
Well.
He just wanted the knife and he got more than what he bargained for.
Oops.
Oops.
Fell way too deep down the rabbit hole on that one.
Oh, fuck. Yep, Wolfgang wouldn't know that. Maybe we can get the Duchess to round that back up so we can have a look at it, see if there's anything of importance there.
Oh, don't tell them that when you ask them, though. Then they'll charge you.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I'm right. You can just admit it.
he just thinks back
my
to how he got
God.
swindled so hard.
Yeah, you set me up in this job for a reason. Why is that? Just to tell you the honest to God truth.
Yep,
Anyway.
that is precisely.
So this was a great meeting to set other meetings, everybody.
That tends to be what they're for. Well,
Yeah.
either way, this could. Well, this situation. Now
It's
that we know
not-
about it, it's
Great.
Rebecca slowly
Prob-
raises her hand.
yes, Miss Whisperwind.
So our enemies are psychic.
Yes.
How should we go about training against something like that?
That's a very good question.
That's a pretty good one. Nice job.
She kind of sheepishly smiles, but is obviously trying to hide the nervousness of having to deal with something that can intrude on her mind.
Nara's proud of herself for thinking that she was being a good leader by saying something nice to someone who works for the city.
Daenerys leans back in his seat a little bit. I've spent a great many years fortifying and attempting to defend my mind, as well as going toe-to-toe with these things face to face. With Lord Connolly's permission, I would like to assist the Kylum Diaboli with training and tactics to handle these creatures face to face if need be.
This is out of the area of my expertise, so you absolutely have my permission to aid in any way you see fit.
Hey, what you have in mind, Catman?
I have a, how do you say, a knack with dreams. I can take some of you into a dreamscape, so to say, and actually allow you to face off against these things in a safe environment.
Well, I'd be hard pressed to turn that down. Say the rest of you. Rebecca nods. Tally just is kind of like crossing her arms. I'm not exactly keen on letting someone enter my mind. And it is something that the Deadeyes have trained me for. So for now,
Well-
I shall pass.
Good. That's definitely all right. We're not going to force you to undergo this dream training if you don't want it.
Should we, well, I suppose, Rebecca and I should test it out first, but
That's what I was
would
thinking.
you be amenable to potentially allowing recruits to volunteer for such training as well, should they deem potent enough for it?
I'm
That
gonna
would
talk
be-
to the city guard as well, especially if this is nearby.
That would be acceptable. As long as I have experience with the creature, I can run you through various scenarios. Mind flayers, demons, fae. The demons are probably going to be a great deal of importance, along with any other man or a creature that the Kyla might be dealing on a day-to-day basis.
In the meanwhile, the tunnel in which you found them, it'll need to be secured and patrolled. I recall it being fairly deep in the earth.
That's pretty down there.
Aye.
We'll have to block off the particular mine shaft that leads to it at the very least.
Wait, the one that I blew up?
No.
Oh.
The mine shaft that leads to the tunnel that leads to the place you blew up.
Oh, look at you thinking all smart.
See what I mean?
What?
Nothing.
Shut up.
You can actually tell that, Nara, go ahead and give me another insight check real quick.
25.
Talia has, like, ever since you made mention that you might be, like, ever since you joked about the idea of being compromised, she has been trying to read you more specifically.
Halia, it's me.
I'm aware.
Oh, God. You have not changed in annoyance.
She nods.
Nara starts inciting Talia right back.
Go for it.
24!
She beat you by 1. She's
How
slightly
dare.
implacable.
What a cool customer.
Like, you're basically having a staring contest right now.
One more to see if I win.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Who blinks?
22!
19 on the die, 26.
Oh! Wait, what?
19 on the die, she got a 26.
Fuck! Whatever. I didn't want to win anyway.
Ahem.
Nara blinks.
She now knows you're slightly frustrated that you can't read her.
Nara blinks, does the shit face, and like looks over at Wolfgang, arms crossed again.
She doesn't even give you the satisfaction of smirking.
Ha, bitch! Nara double takes just to make sure that when she looks away the first time, she didn't smirk.
All right, she's not looking at you now. Go ahead and give me another insight check.
Yeah, that's
the-
fucking
okay, we'll
right.
clear my
That's
God.
fucking
Point.
right. 17!
She's smirking to herself.
Fuck! Turns away, swearing revenge.
Is there anything?
You.
Is there anything else of note that you learned while you were in the maw?
Oh yeah, there's some dry goop down there. We talked about that though, right? The goop? The dry goop? Goop.
Dragu.
Dried remnants of the slime creature, the blood ooze that we did battle with.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah, yeah,
fuck,
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
right. Yes,
Yeah.
I remember now.
Yeah, I told you about that.
Yeah, it
Yes.
seems whatever goop made up its body is fairly long-lasting when dried.
Did you... Our initial worry, did you make any progress on that? Did you find out anything about what's dwelling in the maw itself, or did this sort of prevent you from getting that far?
You never quite made it all the way down to the maw. I mean, all things considered, the maw is so deep that even if the mines and caverns ran that deep, you'd be, like, trying to navigate that space for a pretty long time.
Did I sneak past the tree again to try and get closer look at the sloshiness?
God, no.
God, no?
I mean, if you were traveling in the mines, no, absolutely not. Like, the only way you know down there would be to actually dive into the maw itself right now.
Oh, I see. Okay.
The tree is at the very, very, very bottom.
Right.
And on the northern side of it.
I don't think there was anything else. I mean, there's the sloshing stuff near the tree, which is probably an ocean of blood, but, I think that's
Checks
all.
out.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Well, suppose that's it then. We need to have trained guards, preferably warded against probing attacks to the mind.
Just another day, right?
Just another fucking day.
Nara smiles and salutes.
Well, good work finding this out, Nara.
Queen of the Ma.
Queen of the Maw. Though we do need to talk about how you get me this information in the future.
Some kind of a communicative way of getting information back for us, because you dipping out
Yes.
for 3 weeks is suboptimal.
I know
Preferably-
that Demir can talk via brain stuff, so I figured he'd just give me a little hey, hi, hello whenever it was time to we needed to check in.
Yes, well, failing that, you could take me aside privately and let me know, and then we can go from there. In the future, eh?
Well, I didn't have time when I came back
You
because I
had-
was excited.
Plenty.
If
You
Rebecca
just
kind
see
of like
Wolfgang getting older.
Rebecca kind of raises her hand a little bit again.
Yes, Miss Whisperwind.
If it's unrelated and probably not quite as pressing, but there are a few people in town complaining of a mass hexing. Some awoke in beds that they found strange and did not recognize members of their family.
Bloody hell, do we have a hag in town?
Slowly, Nara, like, the chair just squeaks. As she, like, turns away from Wolfgang.
It would seem, upon inspection, well, Pogan, a few people had their memories altered, and it seemed to vary by effect. Some within a few weeks, some have lost months of time. But there could be a problem about with that.
Sounds like they have a drinking problem and they should seek help.
I'll look into it.
Look into it personally.
If you can, see if maybe some lesser or greater restoration would help restore their memories.
We
Nice.
should
Just a
handle
little.
that.
I said I could
I-
try that myself.
I'm not in the maw, so we can handle it. You give me that list, and we will tackle it. Right, Wolfgang? We're gonna go and tackle it because the Queen of the Maw is on the
This is-
job.
That's right.
That's code for both of them asking me to go deal with it, probably.
Yes, exactly.
Nara, roll me a deception.
Fuck. This is not gonna pass. 7.
Oh,
Tali is just shaking her head.
Nara shoots her a look like, I know you know, shut the fuck up.
She just kind of like, she just kind of shrugs. If that'll be all. And just stands up.
I.
And
Nara
Talia-
stands up, salutes, and just starts walking towards the door.
And everybody begins to file out.
I just grab Nara by the cape to keep her from
What?
leaving.
No! Come on.
I'll leave you to it, I suppose. And Poga and Rebecca file out as well.
You don't want to have any more meetings?
Nara,
What? What?
I gave you a position of power and authority
And I used it.
with the hope that you would not abuse it.
I wasn't abusing it.
You wiped the memories of a dozen people in our town.
At least, yeah. You were all worried they were gonna be upset.
Okay. I want to point out something. They're going to be worried and wondering why they lost their memories of that moment when there was nothing. Nothing even went on, but the fact that we did it implies that we were hiding something. So no matter how much we say something didn't go on, they're going to think it.
Oh, most of them have lost memories of at least the past week. Some of
Oh,
them have
God.
lost memories from months.
Yeah.
Those that epically failed lost maybe about a year's worth of their memory. Tom got that next level shit.
Tom was doing me a solid. Just saying.
Doing you a solid. People losing pieces of their life is doing you a solid now.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how difficult this is going to be to explain? I could have reassured the people that we had this whole situation covered. I mean, aside from you blurting out that we had fucking squid faces underneath the city, I could have covered for that.
We've got squid faces under the city. Nah, I'm fucking with you.
Oh my god.
Nara, next frame, Nara just shoving like
Shoving
juice
picture of
into
We call it the amnesia spiral. It.
I could have explained that. The Kylan Diaboli are monster hunters. It's what we do. Hell, they might have even felt reassured that we were on the case. And you, a city official,
Yes.
had a man wipe their memories in public.
Yes. Yeah.
If even one of them regains their memory of the events that happened,
Uh-huh.
what do you think's gonna happen?
They're gonna be really grateful that I bought everybody around a drink.
They're going to be super pissed at you, Nora, and I'll have to at least fire you. Okay?
Well, what am I supposed to do? I'm used to killing people when they know stuff.
We've been working together for a good while now. And it's not like there's any time shenanigans that are confusing the two of us. We're from the same timeline. We've experienced the same things. So, when I said that I want you to act with just a bit more caution and a bit more forethought, did you just not take that to heart?
It's not that I didn't. It's...
He just lets go of her cape. I know it's difficult for you to rewire your whole thing. Trust me, I know. I was put in charge of a city, and I kill monsters for a living. So I'm there with you. I understand. But these outrageous things to try and cover up your mistakes that you do, they can't keep happening. Like, what if they interfere with your life with Asmo here? I know you don't want that.
She just starts fiddling with the edges of her cape.
You did a good job finding all of this out. But in the future, if you have something to report about your official duties here, find me and pull me aside, or come to my office and wait for me. Or you can come to my home. Wait for me there.
Nara's
I'll
eyes
be-
light up a little bit.
Okay.
You just gave her access to Elliot.
Yeah, I know.
Fine.
Okay. Glad we understand that. Well, guess there's nothing else to do but prepare for this.
Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to it.
Neither am I. Denier, did... Ah, fuck, you weren't there. Oh, boy.
I know what you told me. I might know what you need to know.
No, I'm trying to remember if any of the Mind Flayers referred to the Elder Brain as the Great One.
Do any of us remember that?
Because they don't... Hive minds like this tend to generally not have more than one nickname for a sovereign.
As far as you're aware, they all seem to refer to the brain as just the Elder, so...
The Elder. They called it the Elder. So... there's a possibility that the Elder and the Great One are not the same being.
Maybe a bad choice. Nara's gonna pull out that void metal circlet she's got.
You hold it in your hands.
She's gonna set it on her head and just see what, if, like, radio signals, if there's anything going on.
As you recall, this thing was actually meant to dampen their abilities to read you, so... Not quite
Oh,
how-
never mind.
yeah.
I thought it was the other way around. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, because we can talk to each other telepathically.
Yeah,
That's right.
You
that's
gotta
right.
put it on backwards.
Right. Backwards.
Yeah, Fred Durst it.
God.
Who all has their void metal things?
It would
I
be
got
you
still got
and
mine.
It would be you and Wolfgang, if I recall correctly.
No, and I got the blade as well.
Oh yeah, you have the void metal blade.
Yeah, I
Yes.
don't know if it's connected to that, but it is connected.
We've got a different thing that we've
Thing.
got, and I
Well,
don't
if
think.
it's from time removed, that's what I'm curious about. That's what I'm
It's,
curious
Yeah.
it's a similar material.
Okay.
Yes, ours is fashioned into more like headgear though, and
So that we can
Prime
use it as
Denier
radios.
has his void metal mask.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just me and Nara that have it.
And this isn't exactly material that can be replicated super easily.
Oh, I'm also wearing chainmail.
Oh, that's right.
Void mail.
Of void metal. Yep, the void mail gives me resistance to psychic damage.
There you go. That'll be useful. Maybe, possibly. Who knows?
Probably.
Hey, excuse me?
It's better than not being resistant to psychic damage. Is all I'll say.
That is true. It is a flat upgrade.
This
With
armor
that,
is really
is
good
the-
at defending against pentagon-shaped things, and the opponents are coming at me with pentagon-shaped things.
With that, is there anything anybody else would do for the rest of the evening before?
I want Asmo to I wanted to confirm with Earth about sending in the guys he thinks should actually. He's got to stagger people learning about mind control shit because Asmo's admittedly worried about security of one of his security guards being mind flayed into a slave and getting info, because right now we don't know the full extent of how far they've interwoven. They could already be here for all we know. There's a lot of security detail stuff. So if anything, Asmo is going to go over Earth, kind of what's going on about defending the center, and also figure out
stands, what you would find out would be that Earth would, in order to figure out exactly who would be good for such training, he would need to go through it himself first to really.
Yeah, so Asmo's going to tell him to go through the training the next day to kind of understand a little bit. But furthermore, Asmo kind of I didn't want to bog everyone down with this. Asmo wants essentially, before people go on their shift, he wants to know if they're able to check to see if the mind flayer's influence is on people. Like, can we detect it through magic? Is there the way they do things? Is it detectable based on our realm, essentially? Because Asmo is kind of worried about, in the end, not even knowing if they're mind flayed. For all we know, they're very good at and susceptible at it. We don't
That's
fully
going to
know.
be that's going to be something you'll probably have to do some research on. Go ahead and give me a flat Arcana check right now, just for yourself.
It's fair, but Asmo will ask his good, dutiful friend with a high Arcana roll. Of course, you may know him as Denier.
Mm-hmm. But just for yourself, go ahead and give me one.
Oh no.
That's a 2 on the die, but a 1 on the roll. Yeah, that roll makes sense. Asmo,
Not the magic man.
Yeah. As far as you are aware, it's the same kind of magic as anything else. It's something that you don't have the most experience in, so you're gonna have to just kind of hope that Denier knows what's up with that when it comes to training people for that. Wolfgang, anything you do before turning in for the evening?
Oh boy. I guess I've got to look into these people that are losing their memories. I mean, I know what happened, but
All right. Basically, you were given a file report that was collected by some of the cadets, and you spend the evening sitting in the lounge, sitting in the main room with your son and Jamat as you kind of go over them and spend some time with your family. But it's pretty much exactly what you expected, but the details of it are all the more real when you're looking at people's and their relations accounts of the situation.
he's just
What?
scratching his head and shaking his head.
Nara probably would have tried to help.
In what way?
Just
You don't exactly
like,
have healing magic.
yeah, more like hovering because she doesn't know what to do because she's not doing Ma stuff.
Then if you're just hanging out at Wolfgang's house, Jamat would keep kind of like giving you the side eye every now and again. He trusts you, but he's like very intrigued that Wolfgang is allowing you to hang around the house, pretty much. he would, of course, continually offer to serve you food and various things.
She would probably try and interact with Elliot. Would that be in Nara brain? Would that be an animal handling or?
Probably
God.
not. Just give me a general persuasion check with disadvantage, since this is a child.
I mean, oh,
Oh.
I nat one, but it's an 11. But it's a nat one.
You start playing with Elliot in the ways that you played as a child. You hand him a
no.
knife, and he
Oh, no.
stabs you in the foot.
See, but here's the thing.
Does Elliot
She'll-
learn anything new
Attaboy.
from what Nara yells?
The funnier part of it all is once he stabs you in the foot, like, first of all, yeah, you do get stabbed and it hurts. You take like 1 point of piercing damage. But what follows, the 7 points of radiant damage that kind of burns through your body, is
What the fuck?
unexpected.
Hey, ha, he, ha. It's the end, actually.
So first you're like, ow, and then it's like, boom, your entire leg feels like it's on fire.
I hear that, and I just, like, close the file that I'm looking at, and it's like, he probably
Elliot
pooped or barfed or something, and...
Elliot just chuckling, yeah, just clapping and laughing as you're dancing around with your, like, entire leg as it was immediately burned with a radiant energy.
So, is Wolfgang coming in?
Yeah,
He's been sitting in his chair.
So,
he stands up and he goes to see what happened. He's like, oh, he
So
probably
he's-
threw up or pooped or something.
the
and-
minute he walks in, Nara will have pulled the knife from her foot and be standing over him, angry that he just burned her. And Wolfgang's gonna walk in the moment she is angrily looking at Elliot with a knife that has blood on it, with severe burns on her legs.
Nara.
He did it! He did both! He did both of them!
And she's pointing with the knife.
Come here,
Elliot,
Elliot.
after being yelled at, just starts to kind of like he stands up and starts to like quickly toddler run his way over to his dad and hugs his leg and hides behind his leg.
Come here, Pop.
That's
Come
not
here, Pop.
fair. We
It's
were
gonna be
playing
alright.
hold the knife, and he stabbed me in the foot, and
You were
then
playing-
yeah, hold the knife.
I'm gonna play hold the knife. Nara, can you give me the knife?
I didn't know you played here.
I take the knife and I put it away in
What?
my coat pocket.
How? You're
I went-
ruining the game.
Nope, come
What?
here.
What makes it worse is they probably worked on the baby too at one point.
God, there are 2 fucking children in my house.
Meanwhile, we fade to Denier preparing for his training in the astral in his dream realm.
Oh my god.
Denier, what
That
kind
went
of
about how I thought it'd go.
Denier, what kind of a space are you trying to set up as a like? I'm imagining this is going to be part of your dream zone, your dream manor.
Yeah. So Denier basically has set up this this room similar to what they first fought in, and he's taking specific care to ward the dream itself against outside forces, knowing that the Elder Brain does have access to the realm of dreams. He is doing everything that he can to make sure to increase the warding of the Dream Manor already. Occasionally he writes...
You have pretty solid control over your own dream, so that's less of a concern. But
He's basically setting up the initial encounter that the party ran through when they first fought the Mind Flayers face to face.
all right, as you're going about trying to set up each detail as specific to your memory as you can, you hear echoing from the spaces beyond in your dream manor the knocker of your door.
Home, home, home.
Here we'll head out and head towards the door. Upon getting to the front door, he'd wave his hand, turning the door translucent to see Who's on the other side?
You see standing on the other side of the door the familiar face of Ramses Palto. Hello, old friend.
Good evening, Ramses. Archmage.
Still feels weird.
I can imagine.
It is regrettable that the dragons hadn't taken me up on my offer. But I do come with a gift of good faith.
Oh?
Yes. Not long ago, found wandering through our cities, there was a person who means to do your companion Wolfgang harm.
I can probably take a guess who it is, but he gives a little bit of a nod. Really now?
Yes. Now, somebody going around trying to hire assassins against a foreign dignitary, that's not what I'd like to do under my rule. But it feels wrong for me to pass judgment. While these laws are my land, it is not my life that was threatened. He kind of like waves, and behind him you can kind of see the shimmering image of a prison cell where Inquisitrix Vile Blood is hanging against the wall on some very old iron chains.
I see.
Do let your friend know that we await what he would desire have done with her.
He gives a bit of a nod. Understood. I will let him know immediately, as soon as possible.
Give me a perception check.
Absolutely. Perception 25.
Nice.
From the form that is hanging against the wall, she does no longer appear to be with child.
And what of the child that she was carrying?
He cocks an eyebrow. My, you are well informed. The child is also in our possession. It is the mother that was of more concern, as her behavior is inexcusable for somebody who used to hold such a high station. The child will be looked after and cared for, of course. It has committed no crimes, after all.
To rip apart a child from the mother would be a great concern. Perhaps, of course, you're doing this as an act of good faith. And I know that the Lord Connolly has shown interest in the child. Perhaps if we take one, we can take the other and make specific note of your kindness and your generosity as another step forward.
And there we find ourselves at a bit of an impasse, as currently it is the position of your whole kingdom that immigration should not be free between our lands.
I thought we fought out of character. I thought we fought with the guy. The whole premise of the going to that one thing was to like make it so like you gotta let people across the border, dude. You can't.
Oh yeah, but then you needed to talk with the. Remember, they offered the treaty to say like, hey, yeah, no, just allow immigration back and forth. The decision that you reached with the dragons was that no, we because it was too risky that foreign agents might infiltrate your lands that way. So as it stands right now, what refugees above the border are still there, or who knows. And down here, nobody's allowed to go up there. And due to that, Ramses is not entirely inclined to impart with one of his citizens. Discuss it with your associate. Perhaps we can find an agreement. At the moment, I'm simply asking what he would have done with her. Imprisonment or death.
Gives a little bit of a nod. Very well. I will pass the message along.
You look well, friend. I'm glad to see you thriving.
Daenerys stares at him for a moment before he nods. I'm happy to see that, despite the fact that we walk two different paths, you are living your best life, as they would say.
We walk the same path, Daenerys. We always have. Our methods just differ. Farewell. Until we meet again.
Till next time, old friend.
And he steps off the stoop of your house and floats off into the void. And here is where we will end tonight's session.